Unpacking feudalism, putting the participants back into the process. Because remember, feudalism is a construct. No one ever walked around in the Middle Ages saying, how about this feudalism, man? Like other abstract nouns in humanities, it's a tool for making sense of the world that's evolving around us. It's not a thing. Feudalism's not a thing, it's a process. And we can unpack that process by asking, who's doing what? And putting the participants back into the process. Because we all know the participants. We all know about the king and the barons and earls and the knights and castles and the manors and the popes and the cathedrals and the churches and the monasteries and the peasants and the land and their ploughs and their villages. So we're unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process. Let's start with the king. So a king like William the Conqueror has just taken power at the Battle of Hastings, and one thing he does to reward the lords that helped him get there is to give them land. The lord builds a castle and uses it to rule the land, so the king has really passed on the job of controlling that part of the country to the lord or the earl or the baron or the tenant-in-chief. Meanwhile, those living on the land, the tenants or the peasants or the serfs or the villeins, hand over food that they produce on that land in return for protection. They can come into the castle when there's trouble, and the lords and the knights offer that protection and also ensure there will be no insurrection. But the lord's loyalty also extends to raising an army of peasants from that land at the king's direction. Then there's the church, which is a whole other pyramid with a pope at the top and the bishops and the abbots and the monks and the lowest of the low, the landless friars. So once again, it's about handing out land. And what does the clergy give to the monarchy in exchange? Legitimacy. Because you can't kill the king, it's a sin, says the Pope, and the king keeps favour with the Pope by granting land for monasteries and churches and cathedrals. And the church preserves the status quo to minimize upheaval. And the church serves the community through sacraments, baptism and marriage and penance and absolution and the last rites and holidays. But it also uses its records to do the country's administration, because you want to know about the lives of ordinary people in the Middle Ages, you look at the parish records. So feudalism is a system for the distribution of resources and power that's organized medieval life very differently to how we do it now, and that's a great start for a critical appraisal of how resources and power are shared today. That's unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process. Unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process of feudalism.